Hello, Knights fans. I'm Ryan Uhlich, and thank you for watching another edition of the Knights Baseball Roundup. I'm joined by, of course, the FDU baseball coach, Gary Puccio. This is the 10th installment, Gary, of the Knights Baseball Roundup. Time flies.
Yep,
this
season's
spring.
moving along.
It's just starting to get warm. And
I don't think so, not yet. It's still
windy.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, we have a few things to talk about, and we have a winning streak to discuss as well.
That's a nice word to hear.
Yeah, so we have an alumni question of the week, and before we get to the alumni question, speaking of alumni, you have a few words about a former baseball alum.
Yeah, unfortunately, Miles Malman passed away on Sunday. He is one of our best known alumni. In fact, he was a recipient of the Pinnacle Award, which is the highest award that's bestowed on any FDU graduate and any FDU alumni. He's the man who prosecuted Manuel Noriega down in Florida. So very well-known attorney, terrific friend of the FDU baseball program, very supportive of Harvey Wood Scholarship, Dr. Play, everything. And just a real class guy and a real great guy, and he is sorely missed. And our condolences are to both Jill, his wife, and Parker and Mallory, his children. And he was kind of known as the Claw here, which is something that will always still be here, and we do miss him.
All right, and you do have an alumni question of the week this week from John Bittman, so take that away. Okay.
Yeah, John's asked to expand a little more about the panel discussion, which takes place this evening, April 24th, at the Metropolitan Club. What we did, John, was we set up a panel of 4 or 5 people in various fields, various occupations, and those people are going to come and make a little presentation about their field for our players who are in those majors. For example, Frank Gilbert will be here to talk about accounting, which obviously interrelates with some of our business majors, and Mike Eliason will be here to talk about criminal justice. He's a cop now in Newcastle, Delaware, so that's a great thing for our criminal justice people. And we have a few other people coming who've been nice enough to give of their time and share with us their experiences in the work field. Also some of the younger guys, which would relate a little more to our current players, like Chris Theodore will be here. And I know I'm forgetting a couple people, so I apologize about that, but it should be a real nice event. It's a chance for guys to ask questions in their field of people who are actually out there and get hands-on experience about things, and leads into jobs down the road, which is always a great thing for alumni to help other FDU future alumni in starting and pursuing their careers. So I think it's a real good thing. John actually is the man who kind of came up with the idea, and hopefully we'll see how it goes tonight, but we're expecting a real nice thing.
Excellent. Alumni, keep sending your questions to Gary. You have his email. What is it? Just
my last
Puccio
name
at fdu.edu, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We've gotten a couple of questions from Mr. Bittman, from Mr. McGarry. Just keep sending those questions in. We'll answer them. We have 4 more weeks, I think, of the show, and then a season wrap. So plenty of time to still get your questions answered. Let's jump into the Central Connecticut State Series, all played here at the Nymoli Family Baseball Complex. The first 2 games, you earned a split against CCSU this weekend, starting with game number 1. It was a very close loss, 6-5. Ryan McDonald, I think his longest start as a starter this season. Good start. Let up a run in the first, but then fell into some trouble in the 6th. Ryan McGrath couldn't close the door on that trouble. And the FDU offense, although they tried, I think Riley Moon hit a late solo home run, but it was nothing to, the comeback couldn't happen. But give me some thoughts on that close loss.
You know, unfortunately, that game's probably a synopsis of what our season's been like. We struck early. We had, I believe, a 4-1 lead in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Ran into trouble in the 6th inning, like you said. I probably left Ryan out there a little bit too long, maybe a bat or two too long. But the first 2 guys got on against him. I made a change to Ryan. But you know, the game came down to we had the infield in, and there was a ground ball, and we threw home, and the ball dropped on a tag play at the plate, and that led to them getting 2 or 3 more unearned runs. Right. And then, as you said, Riley homered in, I think it was the bottom of the 8th. Mm-hmm. And then about 9th, we had 1st and 3rd, nobody out, down 6-5, and weren't able to get that run home to tie the game and force extra innings. And that's one of the things that we seem to be struggling with a little bit is in the close games, getting that one extra hit or that one big defensive play that makes a difference. And it was a tough loss because I thought we played fairly well except for that one inning. And in that one inning again, there was a walk, there was a hit batter, and there was an error, and that's us hurting.
Yeah, a couple mistakes, obviously, to learn from, but definitely some positives, especially from Ryan McDonald's start. Kind of hit cruise control for 4 or 5 innings there before getting some trouble. But Game 2, last week we talked about Joe Flacco and all of his close losses. It's incredible. This one, again, an excellent start by him. His only blemishes were 2 home runs to an all-NEC talent, J.P. Sportman. So give me some thoughts about Joe Flacco in that game 2.
Sportman also hit a home run off McDonald in the first inning of Game 1.
Yeah.
When we had our scouting report session, my line to the team was, okay, let anyone else beat us, but don't let J.P. Sportman beat us. And 3 pitches into the first game, he had already homered. And then obviously in Joe Flacco's game, he had 2 homers, accounting for all 3 of their runs. I thought Joe pitched another outstanding game. He gave up a home run for Sportman. It was 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th. They had a pinch hitter that got on base, 9-hitter. And I was worried about the steal and was looking up how often that guy stole. And while that happened, Joe threw first pitch and it landed over the fence again. And, that's my fault, the second home run, because I had a freshman pitcher and a freshman catcher, and I needed to go out there and say, listen, 1-0, 6th inning of a 7-inning game. I said, if we end up walking him, we walk him, but he's got to hit a pitch off the plate, and that wasn't done. And a kid got a fastball. It wasn't in a bad spot. It's just that, I think J.P. Sportman is, if not the best player in the league, one of the best players in the league. So it's kind of hats off to him. I mean, the kid just had a tremendous series. I think he was like 11 for 15.
Oh, it was an incredible series.
Unreal. So
it's kind of incredible to see him at the top of the lineup when they could so much use him in the middle. But
when we held him to 2 singles, we won. That was the key. You stop him from hitting home runs, you have a chance. So. But I thought Joe pitched well, and you talk about a hard luck pitcher. This poor kid, his last 4 starts, has lost 3-1, 3-2, 1-0, and 3-0. So we got to start scoring some runs for him and give him some breathing room. But he's a freshman, and I firmly believe Joe Flacco's got a great future ahead of him. So.
All right. Game 3 of the series, Central Connecticut State. This was Game 2 of the Friday doubleheader. This is when the offense just full-on broke out. Game 1 of this 3-game winning streak. John Chalupa came in, pitched excellently again. 2-hitter. Arguably could have been a 1-hitter, but it was a questionable call left up to our own Chris Strauch, and it was a tough call, but got the hit. So, John Chalupa, 2-hitter. The offense, meanwhile, 9 runs, 16 hits. The 2, 3, 4 hitters all had 3 hits. Riley Moonen, Ryan Brennan, John Giagas went 3 for 4, I think, with 4 RBIs. Pat McClure went 3 for 3 in the 6th spot. Just all around an excellent offensive game. So give me some thoughts about that.
Well, what's good about that, too, is it gave us a chance to let John extend himself and just keep pitching because, with a 9-0 lead, you feel a lot more comfortable and you don't have to worry about stressing out the bullpen or, putting too much strain on them. So that was a big help to us, too. And he's been pitching super. John and Joe have been pitching on Saturday doubleheaders, and they've done a great job. We're in all those games. I mean, that's all you can ask for. And John's kind of got a different way about himself. He's kind of like a mad dog out there on the mound, and you never know what's coming. But he's an outstanding competitor. He's just a real tough kid on the mound, and he's got a lot of talent. And he's been a very good addition to our pitching staff this year.
No doubt about it. Been looking for a game like that ever since it started getting stretched out. Phenomenal start. Game 4 was Saturday, moved to Saturday because of Easter Sunday, but this was Joe Borelli's first start in quite some time, I believe. Coming back from injury, and he had an excellent start. 5 innings, just 3 hits, no runs allowed, and CCSU is scoreless heading into the 8th. They scored in the top of the 8th and made it 1-0, but FDU rallied in the bottom of the inning. Starting with a Joel Roman double, and eventually 3 runs came around to score on a few hits. So excellent rally put together by FDU, showing that the clutch ability at the end of the games. Give me some thoughts on that. And of course, Borelli was a candidate to be interviewed by Corbin today about his start.
Yeah, I think that game was a big game for us and hopefully a turning point for the rest of the season. We needed a win where we came back late in the game to win because that's something we haven't been doing. Mm-hmm. So when they scored in the 8th to go up 1-0, it was really important that we rallied and we were able to find, and especially that rally was mainly 2-out hits with Riley Moonen and Ryan Brennan. driving in runs, and you know, we need them to start stepping up and doing stuff like that. So I thought it was really big, the way we battled and the way we played, and I think it's more indicative. You know, we're not going to win too many games 9-0, but we certainly should be winning games 3-1 and 3-2 and 4-3 and scores like that. And it's more typical of the way we play. That we're a good defensive team, pitch well, and get some timely hits. And that day we got the timely hits, and that's what has to start continuing. And obviously, as they do it, you get more and more confidence. You know, we're still a young team. I mean, I know I've been saying that now for a year and a half, but you know, we start 2 juniors on the team in the field. That's it. And we have no seniors on the team, so everybody's a freshman and sophomore out there. Mm-hmm. So, you know, they've been awfully competitive. I want that competitiveness to start turning into wins. And this week we started to do that, and now we got to keep doing that.
And this week, some out-of-conference games. Siena, another postponed game this season.
Right.
That was in a road game at Siena. But you did get in a game yesterday against Iona. Brendan Butler got his win, started. And you scored what proved to be the winning run, I think, on a suicide squeeze. That was very exciting. So give me some thoughts on Butler's start, of course, and your offense picking up game 3.
Yeah, Brendan's been struggling, and I had talked to him about pitching him a non-conference game rather than a conference game last weekend. And I said, that way we can kind of extend you and just let you kind of get a feel for yourself, that you can get into a little bit of a groove, because he hasn't really been able to do that. And it seemed to work. I mean, he threw 7 real good innings. I thought he was very impressive. He had a lot of pop, you know, real command of the strike zone, did a lot of good things, looked like Brendan Butler. And, you know, it's not a coincidence that the last 2 wins were Borelli and Butler, because, you know, when they were freshmen, they were the B&B boys, and we counted a lot on them. And it's nice to see both of them getting back to the level that they're both capable of being. And if they can continue to do that the rest of the year, then we're still going to be a pretty good team before it's done. You know, the other thing in that game, which was big, was the Iona game was a great example of how we're supposed to play. Like, that's typical FDU baseball, at least under me, of what we believe in. We made some phenomenal, outstanding defensive plays. Matt McCann especially,
sure, yeah.
He was incredible. We threw strikes, we pitched well, and we got timely hits, including a terrific squeeze play by McCann again.
Yep.
And, you know, got the lead 4-3, tough game, 4-3 in the 7th, and we got to hold them, and the 7-8-9 bullpen kind of did the job for us. And obviously Eric Snyder picked up his 20th career save, which is the first pitcher ever to reach 20 in wins or saves as a FDU night, which is pretty impressive. So I really thought that game was a great game for us to build off of going back into the conference. Hopefully this weekend we'll continue to do that.
And speaking of NJIT this weekend, concluding the out-of-conference schedule, you already played NJIT this season once, an 11-8 victory here in Teaneck. Saturday is a doubleheader, both 7 innings here at the Mammalay Family Baseball Complex. On Sunday, you travel to Newark for a doubleheader, both 7 innings as well. Give me some thoughts about and what you expect out of your team, and what do you want to work out in this last non-conference games.
Yeah, the key is, as I told the guys, you know, like you said, we got a 3-game winning streak. I said we want to keep some sort of success with winning going on, you know, so that we can go back into the conference on a little bit of momentum. I think that's the important thing. And we still got 12 conference games to go, and anything's possible. It's going to take a Herculean effort to get back into the race and everything, but it's definitely doable. And as I said, if they play like they've been playing, you know, all of a sudden those 3-2 losses, it's not like we're getting hammered. We've been losing 3-2, 1-0. All of a sudden, hopefully those become 4-3 victories and 2-1 victories. And this weekend, we're hoping to continue to go along that path.
Okay, stick around, Knights fans. Corbin Gapski's standing by with assistant coach Ryan Kresky. Give me some thoughts before we get to that, Gary, about your former NEC Player of the Year and now assistant coach. I mean, do you prefer him as a player? Do you prefer him as an assistant coach? Give me some thoughts about Ryan.
Well, as a player, Ryan Kresky is one of the top 10 players I've coached in my career. And when you consider I've been doing this about 35 years, that says a lot. Position player-wise, he's probably one of the top 5. So I miss him getting 2 hits a game for us. I really do. I mean, he was a phenomenal hitter, a phenomenal player, and a winner. And that's one of the reasons we did so well back in you know, him and Michael Eisen were just a terrific combination as leaders and everything else. And he's obviously done a real nice job as a coach. All you got to do is watch Matt McCann play shortstop, and you can tell that Ryan's influence is very clear on him.
All right, excellent. And stick around for that interview. Knights fans, of course, FDKnights.com. You'll always find your up-to-date stats, information, schedule, for the FU baseball team. And come out to the Naimoli Family Baseball Complex on Saturday for the doubleheader against NJIT. Both games, 7 innings games. And thank you for your time, Gary, this week.
Thank you, Ryan.
10 weeks in the book, and our 11th edition will be next week after this weekend series. Check back for that. And for now, we'll bring in the closer, Corbin Gapski. Thank you for watching this week, Knights fans.
Hey, thank you, Ryan. And before I start my interview with assistant coach Ryan Kresky, I want to say congratulations to Patrick McClure, who was named the third captain of the Knights this past week. I forgot to mention it last week, so I'm sure I'm going to be hearing about it. But, Pat, you earned it. I just want to say congratulations one more time. But today I'm joined here today with assistant coach Ryan Kresky. Ryan, had to bring you outside. It's a beautiful day out. So you're assistant coach for the second year now. You were a volunteer coach last year. But I want to know what the experience has been like under Gary Puccio, and overall, what have you been thinking about so far?
It's been a pretty good experience. I mean, it's my second year. You get to learn the ropes a little bit better your second year. You're kind of taking everything in your first year. But you learn the head coach's coaching style. I mean, I played for him for 2 years, so I knew like how he likes to coach the game. So, I mean, going out there and coaching third base for him, I know when he likes to be aggressive, when he doesn't like to be aggressive, and basically when to hold runners up. So it's been good so far. I mean, I'm having a good time, and looking forward to coming back next year.
That's good news for the Knights. But I had to ask you, last year, like I said, you were a volunteer coach, and now this year you're an official assistant coach. So have you changed your style of play a little bit, your style of managing?
Not too much. I mean, I've been working with the infielders just as much as last year. We like to do the same things, keep it pretty simple, but always working hard every day, working on something every day, every week. And I've taken a little bit more of a role working with the hitters this year. Most of the time, the left-handed hitters, focus on hitting against lefty pitchers, just simplifying things and keeping a good mental approach at the plate, not just a physical approach.
Absolutely. So I was going to ask you about what you've been teaching the hitters, but I had to talk to you about what you've been teaching Matt McCann, Dylan Sprague, the middle infielder. So what have you been working on with those guys, or anything you've been telling them during the games or throughout practice for a long season ahead?
The middle infield's one of the two most important positions on the field. I mean, you just got to keep those guys loose, keep teaching them every week, every day, go over footwork, double play feeds, and a lot to do with, again, the mental aspect of playing a 56-game schedule. Matt McCann, coming from high school, only playing 25 games. It's a long season, a college season. So you get your ups and downs, but it's a mental grind once you get to college, and the more he understands that, the better off he's going to be. And the same thing with Dylan. Dylan played a lot last year, and he's doing a great job for us this year. A lot of improvements. He's swinging the bat real well. He's catching the ball. He's throwing the ball. He's not making too many errors for us. But no, overall, I've been real happy with those two guys, and they come to work every day, every week.
And actually, against Iona, Matt McCann made a beautiful double play with Dylan Sprague, so you might have taught him that as well, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I mean, you teach him during practice. You don't really teach them during games. You let their talent take over during the games and let them pretty much just play their game that they're used to playing, and just let them relax and go have fun. And the game's a lot more fun when you're doing well and winning.
Now, Ryan, we were teammates back in 2012. So I had to ask you, now you're playing professional baseball, but now you're also a coach as well. So I heard the motto, you learn more about the game of baseball when you're coaching than you do playing. So I had to ask you if that statement is true for yourself, and if you learn more from coaching, and if you brought that into professional baseball at all.
Well, there's two different aspects of that. You learn a lot while you're playing, and especially playing professional baseball, you learn a lot more once you get there. And I know I did the first 2 weeks I was there in spring training. But it's a different aspect coaching too, because you learn how to talk to guys, how to get through to guys, and I mean, I'm still learning a lot of stuff playing, and I like to bring it back and teach these guys. And that's what's exciting for me. I like to see guys learning what I'm teaching them and getting better. And it's nice to learn stuff and do well yourself.
Okay, Ryan, and you were talking about coaching for a little while, but let's talk about the playing a little bit. You played your first year of professional baseball with Evansville, 5 walk-off hits, 7 game winning hits, top 5 in all offensive categories, so you really helped out the Otters last year. Now you're heading to Washington, Pennsylvania to play for the Wild Things. So, and you also got a 2-year deal. So I want you to talk about that experience a little bit, your first year of professional baseball, and now you're heading to Washington to help out the Wild Things. Tell me about that.
Playing in Evansville was a great experience. I mean, it was my first year of professional baseball. Took me a little while to get my feet wet. I struggled a little bit in the beginning, but as soon as I was at least 30 at bats in, it's when you get used to the speed of the game. It's definitely a different speed going from college to professional, just like high school to college. But that's more of a mental grind than college. You're playing 96 games instead of 56, and you're out there for 4.5-5 months. So I mean, Evansville was a great time, and looking forward to getting to Washington. I know they have a great staff over there. I've talked to the manager and their hitting coach a bunch of times. Great facilities over there. Stadium's pretty new. Great place to hit. Great place to play the infield. It's a turf infield. And yeah, just looking forward to the overall experience out there.
All right, so let's jump back to the Knights a little bit. I got to ask this question. You and me, we were teammates here at the Knights in 2012. So tell me, do you like playing under Gary Puccio more, or do you like being a coach with Gary Puccio more?
It's a hard question. I mean, you get a little bit of that's a pretty tough question, because as a coach, you can't really do much on the field during the game. But as a player, if he was yelling at you and getting on you a little bit, you had that sense of urgency to go out there and do what he was saying. So as a player, you had a little bit more control over the game. As a coach, I mean, you can say some things to him, but as a player, I probably prefer playing under him, so you can show him how it's done instead of trying to tell him.
All right. So, Ryan, you're heading to Washington on Sunday, so the last game for you is going to be against NJIT on Saturday here at the Namoli Family Baseball Complex in the FDU campus. So, Ryan, heading off soon. I only want to wish you the best of luck, and I'm looking forward to seeing you one more time on Saturday. The coach of Knights, and I'll be there cheering on the Knights.
Thanks, Corbin.
All right, fans, I'm Corbin Gapski from FDUKnights.com. Well, make sure to watch Knights Baseball Roundup with Gary Puccio and Ryan Uhlich. Also go to FDUKnights.com for all your updates, videos, and stats of all FDU baseball and all FDU athletics. Have a great day, folks.